Do y'all feel like the people inside this encampment want you dead?
Yes.
They have broken a law. They're legally not allowed to be there. They don't have a permit from the school to have that encampment. The school needs to shut them down.
When we see people on the other side that are chanting, "Death to Israel, death to America," that should wake up America.
Do you believe that if there was no control, they would come out of here and kill you all? Well, I'm in Los Angeles, California, and it's been a very busy day. We spent a lot of time on campus today at UCLA.
Long live Palestine!
Protesters have taken over a significant portion of the campus and are controlling it. The protesters are pro-Palestinian, and I've been speaking to a lot of Jewish students who are saying, look, we feel very threatened here. We've been intimidated, we've been called names, we've been physically assaulted on campus, barricaded from going to our classes. We've been detained and not been able to move about the campus. Well, we tried to talk to the pro-Palestinians and get their side of the story. Is there a gatekeeper here among the kids? And although they seem to have a big agenda, they don't even want to make a statement.
Yeah, again, we're not doing interviews right now.
Okay. They're barricaded into an encampment. They didn't want to talk to me on camera or off camera. Now we're at an undisclosed location where a strong buildup of law enforcement is taking place because apparently it's time that UCLA has decided they're going to take their campus back. So you guys are all students now?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is something new as far as this escalation, right?
Yeah.
But have you felt a tension on campus since you've been here? I mean,
the
was it
past
here from the
7
minute you got
Especially
here?
since October 7th.
Yeah.
It's been
It
especially
really
bad.
ratcheted up after October 7th?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like at some point you're not feeling very comfortable to share where you're from because some people have different reactions. Like at some point we went to the dining hall and we were sitting and we spoke in Hebrew and the guy next to us just got up and left. So there were like little incidents that, you know, you just like sometimes, okay, I will just be quiet. I won't say where I'm from, just not to escalate things or to hear anything hurtful.
I felt unsafe on campus. I went to the dean after a girl hit me. I was wearing a yellow pin just like this. I was standing in line at the student store and some girl just hit me, tried to yank it off and went away. So I went to the police, I went to the dean. I told the dean what happened. He seemed like he didn't even know what a kafia is. He was so like, he didn't even know what was going on.
Really?
Yeah, I told him about a different protest that happened where they made a statue of a pig that's holding money in one hand, and there's the Israeli flag on what seemed to be like a fire.
It's the same rhetoric, same tactic. Jews are pigs holding money, and it's really sad that to see that history is just coming back all over again.
Is this what was,
That's it.
Yes.
This is the picture,
Yes.
what happened when you showed them this?
He didn't really say anything. He just kind of was like, okay, you can submit a report. He didn't really have anything to
How
say.
many days was it up there?
I think around a week and a half.
What do you think the other side of this, if this is a side thing, what do you think they want?
Well, they
What do you
certainly
think these
don't
people
want
want?
dialogue. We've come to talk to them several times, and well, I personally have been met with personal attacks more than a willingness to argue, like civilized people. One day I was walking with a shirt with Hebrew on it, and immediately I was called a Zionist pig, death to Zionists, I don't want to talk to you. Another time, some guy was talking about, he was screaming about genocide, and I confronted him and talked to him about it, and he didn't want to hear anything that I said, and immediately recognized that because I was supporting Israel in this conflict, he said, oh, you're a dirty Jew.
I was trying to go and have some dialogue. I always start my conversation with, hey, here's my name. I'm an Israeli citizen. I hope we can have a conversation and try and find some common ground because that's the only thing that is going to happen. And most of the time, as soon as I said I'm from Israel, people just walked away, put their hand in my face.
Is this before October 7th or after?
Right after October 7th, what happened was I could feel this energy shift. Whenever someone asked where I'm from, I'm always proud to say where I'm from, but I need to expect always some sort of reaction, which I do get. People are like, oh, or ew. But after the encampment, it has gotten way worse. And the things that are written there, I didn't think I would ever see in my lifetime.
Exactly.
We are trying to explain why we have the right to live and why we have the right to even exist. And people on the other side are just chanting death to you. So we're not even in the same page. For them, you have no right to exist. That's the dehumanization that the Jewish people are going here. And me personally, as a reservist in the IDF, I have here a bunch of students where we opened a program where we do Krav Maga, Israeli combat training, in order to really gain some mental and physical strength, because a lot of the students had texted me like, we're scared, we're in the bathroom, we're in the library, and we don't know what to do. I would expect them to like, okay, you believe in something, come and have a discussion, right? But they know that their arguments are so weak, and they know how much their rhetoric is empty, that they're not even willing to engage in a civil conversation. And that's the problem. And I mean, I lost 12 people on October 7, whether it's the Nova Music Festival, whether it's like people who were with me in the military, friends of theirs, we all lost like real people. But when you see people on the other side of the fence laughing and mocking you and disrespecting your loss, we have never, ever said that we're, God forbid, happy about anyone who is innocent, who was lost on the other side. These people are, they don't want a civil discussion. They just want you to die.
Yeah, and I feel like if more people would have been open to conversations, that they would have seen that all the people, the Jewish, the Israeli, everybody have so many opinions about everything. You don't need to portray all the Jewish people and all the Israeli as one thing. This is not true.
What do you want the administration to do that they're not doing?
Understanding that we have classes inside those buildings.
Yeah.
And
Inside these buildings over here?
yes, exactly.
The fact
This
that they
building.
won't let us go there, we can't go to class. Like, they canceled class today. They're not sure about
So
what's
I
going to be
missed-
tomorrow. Like, we can't move around. It's impossible to be here. It's just so anxiety-inducing.
I feel like also the fact that you know that you cannot pass this place and you have to go around. It just ruins the entire experience. It's
what
not
you
because
paid
it's
for.
close to,
Exactly.
yeah.
Do y'all feel like the people inside this encampment want you dead?
Yes.
I guess you know that I've been pretty outspoken about this since October 7th. I want to confess I had been pretty asleep at the switch about the anti-Semitic activities going on before that. I never thought in my lifetime I would see and hear what I'm seeing and hearing now. When I woke up loudly and have been talking about it ever since. You're here, you're living this, but did you ever think this was going to happen?
My mom emigrated here from the Soviet Union, and my entire life, what I had been told growing up is she came here so that we could be openly Jewish without any fear. And I definitely was aware of the anti-Semitism that existed in the world, and I never in a million years, I can say, would have expected to see the level of pure discrimination and hatred that we see on our campus. That was never something that I even began to predict.
What are you experiencing now? And has it stepped up since October 7th?
100%.
And how so? What are you experiencing on a daily basis?
For me personally, I mean, I have been told to go back to my country, which I think is ironic. I've experienced this both online and I've experienced it on campus.
You've experienced the hostility. Have you been blocked on campus?
Yes, I was the student who was denied access to get to my class.
You guys have closed the entrance. We are UCLA students. I have my ID right here. I'm being blocked off, not by the security guard, but by you two, you three.
I saw that video. It looked like a pure intimidation act to me. And then I noticed locking arms. There was a human wall.
Yeah, I simply cannot push through the human wall because it would look like we're aggressors and we're initiating the conflict between us and the pro-Hamas students on campus. And so that's why I had my arms up, so it would not look like I'm actually trying to hurt them in any way. I backed off, and they made me walk around the school to get to class.
So what was the point in blocking your access to class?
They were simply saying that, well, first things, they have their own checkpoint there, and they themselves decide who can and who cannot enter.
These students,
These pro-Hamas students that have completely taken over the school.
they've just claimed the authority.
That's correct.
And they refused wristbands to other people as well, especially people wearing Stars of David, anything like that. They tried going through that route, they're refused entry, and you even need someone to vouch for you now to get in. Someone needs to say, oh yeah, I know them, they're cool.
When you came here as a freshman, did you expect this?
I was mentally prepared for such encounters because I did Stand With Us internships where they prepared us on how to act in these situations and what to do.
They do amazing work.
Yes.
Stand With Us do amazing work. And I love that one of their objectives is de-escalate, but get done what you need to get done. How many of these protesters that you have encountered do you suspect are not actually students here?
I think a very good majority. In fact, yesterday evening, a majority of the people that were there inside the encampment, majority were not UCLA students.
How do you know that?
I know that because majority, if not, no, all of the people that were there for the pro-Israel demonstration were non-UCLA students as well. The thing is, this is the first time we've seen things get violent from the pro-Israel side as well. But we have seen multiple times things getting violent from the pro-Hamas side. That's why I 100% believe that there's non-UCLA students inside that encampment on a daily basis.
And I think we also need to understand, specifically in the context of college campuses, this is a publicity war. You have these organizations such as the Students for Justice in Palestine with these mass followings and these massive propaganda who are outsourcing to all of these students on campus. And just as recently as yesterday, they had a call to all of Los Angeles to come to UCLA campus and defend the encampment. Now me, as a student who pays hard-earned tuition dollars, cannot go and bypass this encampment to go to my class, but other people from outside of Los Angeles who do not pay tuition and who do not attend UCLA can come and engage in this encampment.
If I can go off on that, my name is Elon. I'm from Israel. I moved here at the age of 12. I went over there to try and have some conversations on the first day of the encampment because it seemed like the university, the police, and higher-ups weren't doing anything about it. I never thought that I would be called a dirty Jew to my face. That was something insane. And from that, they already know my face. And as we're walking over there, I could see them noticing me and kind of pointing at me, saying Zionist, Zionist, and then they created their human chain to not let anyone through.
They have a blacklist. We know that. They have a blacklist. And for example, if I try to go to a different encampment in a different place, they will not let me in.
What's been your experience?
Similar experience to everyone. I've honestly been trying to avoid things going on campus because it's just really disheartening to see and frustrating to walk past and see that our campus security is just standing there and not doing anything and kind of pushing us off to the side if we're trying to walk past. They're like, oh, we need to keep this area clear, but they're allowed to camp out there.
And I truly believe that a lot of people in the encampment, the students, have a good heart. I've had conversations with them, and there's very real devastation happening in Gaza that we're seeing on the news. And it's heartbreaking to see that instead of working towards peace, there's an atmosphere of divisiveness, of anti-Semitism, and of violence.
Let me ask you guys something. I don't want to go into great detail about it, but let's go back to October 7th. Where were you when you learned what happened?
Yeah, so I was at my house, and I was receiving a FaceTime call from my older brother who was there. And I was busy doing something, and he called to me, and I hear screaming. I told him if I can call him later, and because I didn't understand what's going on. He said, no, you have to listen to this, and you could just hear the sirens and the rockets and the gun shootings through the phone. I was on the phone with him for 2-3 hours until the moment I knew that he went into a house and was safe with his 2 friends. And I was shocked. I didn't sleep that night. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Tell me this, how do y'all feel about First Amendment rights?
I love our First Amendment. I love the freedom of speech. But I think what's happening right now is way beyond that. The people inside the encampment are asking, they're calling for a genocide of Jews. They're screaming for an intifada. They were screaming from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. These are all chants for genocide of Jews around the world. And on top of that, they have broken a law. They're legally not allowed to be there. They don't have a permit from the school to have that encampment. And the school needs to shut them down.